Welcome everybody to my channel. How's everybody doing today? Let's see who we have here. Let's see. Warm welcome everybody. Adrian, Amy, Angie, Anna, Audrey, Craftastic, Dave G, Debs, Gigi, Goodnight Owl, Hippie Chick, Jody, Catherine, Lady Sarah, Leslie, Mary, Melody, Seeking the Truth with Dave, hi, Super Sunshine Sue, Tiger, Tumbleweed, Whence You Are My Sunshine. Welcome. Hope you're all okay, doing good on this nice, windy, stormy Saturday, Sunday morning for me. It's past midnight. I've missed you too. Some stuff going on recently. My daughter's birthday, so I wanna make this live stream short and simple. We're gonna be talking about Bella's autopsy report today. I had last week reported on Shanann's autopsy due to me talking to 2 students. I was talking to medical examiners in the past and also tried to contact them again, but they got a little bit, sick of me. So they referred me to 2 students in their last year of studying. Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you. I also found a different platform for streaming, which I'm going to be using next time. What else is new? Nothing is new. It's my daughter's birthday, like I said. I have trouble with the internet connection today. So if I'm off, then if I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to be turning my camera off just because. And yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm not going to tell you what's the platform. I'm having a kind of assistant now. And yeah, he's telling me like where to go. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you. And oh yeah, I'm not getting into the details of like explaining what's rigor, what's all these things. So I refer you to please watch the autopsy on Shanann, where I go into great detail. It's just so very sad, to even talk about this. But yeah, and I must admit, when I did the autopsy live streams previously, there were some errors which I'm gonna explain during the stream. All right, I hope you guys can see everything. We're gonna be reading from the first released discovery. I'm not seeing chat, so just so you know, but my moderators will be there if there is an issue or a question. And yeah, that being said, thank you so much for my moderators to be there along the journey with me all the time. Thank you. All right. This is like I showed with Shanann's autopsy as well. This is the laboratory report. And we're not getting into the stuff that wasn't found. Like I explained previously, they have like a limit, and everything that's detected in blood that's above the limit is so-called significant finding or a positive finding. In Germany, they do significant findings. I don't know if it differs from state to state. In America, Dr. Burson or that crime lab and NMS labs, they refer to findings as positive. So as you can see here, page 1, this is Bella Watts. She had obviously some kind of chemicals in her blood due to being submerged in oil for a couple of days or for a few days. Not sure yet. I have not made my mind up yet. That was all taken from the spleen blood. Also, they tested liver tissue and all that kinds of things. And as you can see here, benzene, ethanol, all that was present. So the limit for ethanol, for example, is 10, and she had a 13. So if it was 9, they wouldn't even mention it here. So that's significant or positive. Everything else, as you can read here, in peace if you want to, what all this means. I'm not going to get through this because it's obvious that she had chemicals in her blood. And they also state, analysis, summary, and reporting limits, that they are not going to mention anything that's not on top of that level, so not over that level. All right. This is the diagram from Dr. Burson. Like I stated before, this is the first basically viewing of the external injuries, and he makes some notes. He notes that blotchy chemical burns on above her eyes, on her, I would say right side of her head or forehead. She had all soaked underwear on, a pink pajama with butterflies. Yeah, it's just very sad, and I want to get over this as quickly as possible. Then she had obviously some marbling, was in a state of decomposition. This is when marbling occurs. Rigor was released. And so the medical examiner, Dr. Burson, describes her hair as brown blonde. Hair length from the crown measured is 15 centimeters. The distribution is normal. Her eyes were brown, although opacified. That means, when you die, the eye goes basically like milky. This is what you see. I'm not pulling up those images anymore. Normal teeth, neck midline, normal female, nothing abnormal. The nails, of course, they were dirty. I mean, oil and stuff. So they clipped her nails as well. He describes her toenails as being in fair repair. So, kids climbing. Yeah. Then abnormal findings, he states bite wound to the tongue and the torn frenulum and the torn lip. The brain was not of any significance regarding abnormal findings. And also asked the student, is there anything what I can, anything abnormal, or, does he refer to special things? And he said, no, that's just an overall. Basically, he views the body and writes down what he sees first. So other than with Shannon's autopsy, where Shannon's diagram, I must say, he does not see any sorts of injury to her neck. In the diagram of Shannon, he noted probable strangulation, asphyxiation due to strangulation, because he saw the marks around her neck and chin and cheek as soon as he viewed her body, right? So he doesn't know at this point, when he puts his notes, what she died of. So everything is open so far. He goes into great detail. I also asked, why is it that, some medical examiners go into great detail and explain everything, and have their medical terms thingies going on, and some don't. And he said, well, it's not, they don't think, a normal person not educated in the medical field would read that. So everyone who's an expert and would be taking the stand at a trial, they know exactly what a medical examiner means when he puts certain terms or certain sentences. So nothing unusual here. I thought with Shannon, he was not thoroughly in detail, but yeah. So like I said, I was told that's fine, because if experts read it, they know exactly what's going on. All right, then we have the written autopsy report. Date and time of death is August the 16th. Date and time of autopsy is August the 17th. I was also told that date and time of death is always put down when the death, not when the death occurred, but when she was pronounced dead. So Bella at this time at 5:50 p.m. on August the 16th, when she was recovered, she was pronounced dead in an obvious state of death. And this is when they put the time. Some people get confused and saying, oh, she died on August the 16th. No, this is normal. They put that in the autopsy. So the diagnosis: history of being reported missing and subsequently located in an obvious state of death within an oil tank battery. Asphyxiation due to smothering. So this is the report after he drafts, after he opens up the body and stuff like that. So blunt force trauma of the frenulum and gingival mucosa of the maxilla. That is basically her injuries on her mouth. Postmortem artifact, that's decomposition. Oil, water, and sludge debris in the stomach. And this is where people also get confused, saying, oh, she must have swallowed oil and water or sludge. No, there's a little flap on your, I wouldn't say stomach, but I don't know that word, when it goes down your throat, there's a little flap. And as the muscles release rigor, it can happen that that little flap basically goes open, and this way water, sludge, and debris are gonna go into your stomach. So that's nothing what's unusual. So the toxicology report I just mentioned to you, he also states only what's present in her blood, nothing else. He gives reference to the NMS lab. His opinion is, based on the history provided in the autopsy findings, the cause of death is asphyxiation due to smothering. The toxicology results likely represent decomposition and an artifact of being submerged in an oil tank for several days. The manner of death is homicide, obviously. History. The decedent is a 4-year-old Caucasian female who has an unknown medical history at the time of this autopsy, meaning he doesn't know anything about her medical history when he performed the autopsy. Reportedly, the decedent was reported missing with her sibling and mother on the afternoon of August the 13th. Unfortunately, the decedent was subsequently located in an obvious state of death within an oil tank battery container on rural property. The decedent was pronounced dead at the scene at 5:50 hours on August the 16th. The witnesses, personnel present for the post-mortem examination includes Michael Burson, that's the main guy who performed the autopsy, Joey Wiener, that's his assistant. For a complete list of individuals present at the autopsy, please see the investigative report file held at the Weld County Coroner's Office. So the same as in Shanann's autopsy, there were so many people present, which I think, okay, I mean, the person laying on that table is dead, right? But I still morally, I don't know if, it's just my feeling, and that's just my personal opinion. It's just not right. People who have basically nothing to do with this staring at those children and Shanann. I just don't like it. I just don't like the thought of it. District Attorney disclaimer. So at 10:10 hours on August the 17th, the representative from the District Attorney's Office read a portion of an email which he received from the Public Defender's Office. In this email, the Public Defender has requested that we swap the necks of the children for residual trace DNA. According to him and his expert DNA witness, they anticipate trace DNA being preserved on the neck structures of the children despite being confined in a container of oil, water, and associated sludge matter over the course of 4 days. So he's like a little bit pissed that, despite them being in an oil container, yeah, okay, but in the end, he did it because there are certain technologies where you can actually get trace DNA from the necks, even if a body is submerged in water for a significant amount of time. So the identification was by the Weld County Coroner, State of Colorado. This is who identified the children. The clothing the decedent is received in an unsealed body bag wrapped in a bedsheet from retrieval process. So he did not wrap her in a bedsheet, or the person who stuffed her in those tanks. That was from the retrieval process, and clad the following clothing items. And also oil-soaked pink pajama type top with images of hearts and butterflies. A pair of oil-soaked underwear. Identifying marks and scars were non-visualized, and evidence of medical or surgical intervention, also none. So then we get to the evidence of injury. The external evidence of injury. So this is all what the medical examiner sees from the outside, right? A 13 by 3 centimeter area of vertical excoriations on the left buttocks. And we get into this in great detail. And at least 1.5 centimeter laceration of the frenulum and upper gum line with associated pink-purple contusions. Superficial probable bite wounds to the mucosal surface of the tongue. A 9 centimeters, that I guess that's meant to be centimeters, up to 4 centimeter yellow tanned possible abrasion on the left torso, and a 3 by 1.5 centimeters faint yellow tan discoloration on the superior aspect of the left shoulder. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and go to my presentation. Hard to get. What do you mean, Mary? So far, everything good? Everything okay? Am I too fast, too slow? Just let me know. All right, I'm gonna share a different screen because we're gonna go into this like right now. Okay, first of all, obviously, caution, the content of this video or my presentation might be upsetting and viewer discretion is advised. Just saying, because some people, they react upsetting if they see some bruising or stuff. I don't have like really graphic images in there, but I still felt comfortable by saying that. All right. What is the different kinds of bruising abrasions? And to understand what Dr. Burson actually saw, you got to know what that means in the first place. So an excoriation is basically a scratch or wear of the skin resulting in an abrasion. And I make this a little bit bigger. As you can see, the difference between an abrasion and an, what is it called, excoriation, is that the excoriation has like bloody spots and skin is basically missing. Like it's a yeah, a worse or a more significant abrasion, so to speak. Then an abrasion is wearing, grinding, or rubbing away by friction. The rubbing or scraping of the surface layer of cells or tissue from an area of the skin or mucous membrane, also a place so abraded. You can look that all up on Google. So this is an abrasion. Every one of us knows that. We all had it or have it. And this is the typical bruise. You know, I can relate to that. When I was a child, I had bruises all over my legs and knees and arms because I wasn't the typical girl. You know, I climbed trees and all that. So, yeah, never wore dresses and stuff. So, yeah, but that just aside. So, there are different discolorations as well, which we are getting into. So, there are 3 types of abrasions: the linear or scratch abrasion. Linear abrasions are caused by forces resulting in denuding of the epidermis, so the first layer of your skin. Then there is grazed or brush abrasions. Grazed abrasions are usually multiple in presentation and result from friction against a broad, rough surface. This is to give you a little example. If you have a carpet or a rug, and you know that we call, I know what we call it in Germany, but is it like a carpet or rug scratch or something like that, right? So, and patterned abrasions. What Dr. Burson states, Bella had a 13 by 3 centimeter area of vertical excoriations of the left buttocks. So that means clearly there was a deeper wound and skin was missing, right? Unfortunately, he does not tell us the color of that injury. That would be very, very nice to know, because there are also healing, it's a healing process and different colors occur. So, and at least 1.5 centimeter laceration. And he gives us a color, it's pink purple. So that means it's basically a bruising of the inside of her lip, gum line, frenulum, which was torn. Superficial probable bite wounds to the tongue. So bite wounds not going through the tongue. It's basically superficial, so on the surface. Then he noted a 9 to 4 centimeter yellow tan possible abrasion on the left torso and a faint yellow tan discoloration of the aspect of the left shoulder. Unfortunately, he doesn't give us He doesn't say it's an abrasion, it's a bruise, it's an exoritation. He does not state that, unfortunately. So I'm thinking, but that's just, my opinion, that he means abrasion because he uses that word here above. So I think he meant abrasion. All right, then there are healing stages. Obviously, this is the healing stage of a bruise. So as you can see here, he does not mention bruising. He mentions abrasions and that other thing. So no bruises. What I first initially thought is, yellow, tan colored abrasions. And I mixed that up a little bit. And I thought, so this must have been an older injury. Like, we know kids, right? They jump all over the place. So yeah, that was a mistake because abrasions is totally different in healing than bruising. So then we have the healing of an abrasion. Abrasion heals from the periphery to the center. It is between 12 and 24 hours. It's, it occurs when your blood dries up. It's bright red when it's fresh, and it goes dark brown up to yellow when it's older and in the healing process. So as you can see here, wear of the skin resulting in an abrasion, meaning if that heals, it's gonna look like this at some stage, and then healing starts. How do you get an abrasion? I'm gonna stop share this screen and share another one, just for your information. Give me 1 wee second. There it is. So there are pressure abrasions. There are some different types of abrasions, and as you can see, I did quite an extensive research on that. Where was it? What I wanted to show you. Here, the friction burn it's called, right? So it's an extensive, superficial, redded, excoriated area without bleeding and without any linear mark. So this is an abrasion, right? Excoriations come in linear marks. This is what Dr. Burson states as well. So it may occur due to force with a smooth surface or when the skin is covered with clothing. And when we remember, Watts said he smothered them with a blanket. It obviously wasn't the Yankee blanket because that was later found in the house. But yeah, this is something, clothing, blankets over the head. This can cause abrasions, which Dr. Burson clearly states she had that. When an abrasion gets in contact with chemicals or with soap, or, if you have an abrasion or some injury to your skin and you go in the shower, it burns, right? So, and it appears more red, or it's can be also being infected, and I think, in my opinion, and also in the student's opinion, that the chemical burns Dr. Burson noted on Bella's forehead came from an abrasion when being in contact with chemicals or water or sludge and all that stuff. So they appeared to be a chemical burn, so to speak. All right. So, but I'm going to show you all that a different time if you're interested. This is quite interesting. Everything about bruising and different types of um, abrasions and all that stuff, the healing process. So I really went through all of this, but yeah, we don't need it now. So gonna share my other screen again. Sorry for switching screens. It's a pain in the bum, but yeah. All right, let's get back to this one then. So this I just explained. So this is what he basically describes. And pink purple bruising inside the mouth or gum can occur even after death. So this is when the blood, pools in a certain area. It can appear pink or purple. So it can occur before or after death. So Burson doesn't state a bruise or abrasion, but like I stated before, I just think that he meant abrasion when he describes a yellow tan discoloration on the superior aspect of the left shoulder. And as you can see, everything Bella suffered injury-wise is on her left side, right? So the bruising or the abrasion she had was in this area. This is where the shoulder blade basically meets the ball of the arm. I did on purpose not put a picture of a child. I found some on Google, but yeah, here. So basically abrasions here, 13 centimeters. I put that here for you. That is 5.12 inches and 3 centimeters wide. So 1.18 inches wide. So quite a bit from here to approximately here. She was only a little child. So it was quite significant. 13 centimeter on a child's body is quite significant. So between her arm, the ball of her arm, and the left shoulder blade. Then the yellow tannish abrasions to the left torso, also here in this area on the front. So all the pressure went basically onto her left side. Then she has the yellow tan discoloration of the superior aspect. That's what I just showed you. Yellowish can mean healing or not. Oops, sorry. So yeah, basically this tells me that it's absolutely possible that whoever did this, or, I haven't made up my mind yet, but definitely Bella went through that hatch. With bruising like that or abrasions like that, like I said, I thought, oh, it's bruising, it's yellow tannish bruising, and it's in the healing process. Because if we look at the healing chart of a bruise, yellow, 7 to 10 days. But with an abrasion, it's completely, totally different. So yeah, it's definitely possible. And in my opinion, I think she went through that hatch. He describes her arms were up in his interview, and he puts her like that into that tank. And I think it's definitely possible according to the injuries. And now understanding better what's the difference between an abrasion and excoriations and bruises, that makes it even clearer. All right, then we go back to the why not bury them? Yeah, I have a little opinion on that, but I wanted to do that at a different time. I think I know why they did this. in different tanks. But I'm gonna explain to you guys when I do a full presentation on survey based on documents and information and the quality of the oil, and you can really read a lot out of this evidence, and that he was not entirely truthful to his parents again when he said, oh, that the oil was pitch black. It's actually not true. But I'm going to show you at a different time. So the general external examination, the autopsy is commenced at 1:30 on August the 17th on the body of Bella Watts at the Maxi Medical Center. She's female, and the appearance is generally consistent with the reported age of 4 years. The body measures approximately 41 inches long and weighs 38 pounds. And this is, I don't know, I think Chris described Bella being 40 pounds. I can't remember, or 38 pounds, and Cece slightly lighter, but I can't remember. But he got that pretty right. So at the time of the autopsy, rigor mortis is released in the major muscle groups and the muscles of mastication, which is the smaller muscle groups. And as we learned in the past autopsy report on Shanann, even if he doesn't state, the rigor is released in the small muscle groups, it starts in the small muscle groups, then extends to the major muscle groups, limbs, and so on, and then it's released in the same order. So if the medical examiner states it's released in the major muscle groups or it's released in the muscle groups, it's automatically totally released, even if he doesn't mention the small muscle groups. There's post-mortem artifact consisting of bloating, marbling of the abdominal surfaces and area of skin slippage. Unfortunately, the body was found in an oil tanker containing oil and aqueous fluids. This resulted in abundant skin slippage upon washing. So the head hair is blonde brown, normally distributed. Then he tells the eyes are opacified, which is totally normal when you're dead. And there was no petechia. Petechia is those bloodshot eyes. And once you get it, because I was re-listening to the Wisconsin interview today a little bit, and so what Chris says is total complete bullshit. He states when the agent says, oh, did she have, bloodshot eyes? Speaking of Shanann, he said no. And then when he put her in the grave, he said that this occurred. So there's only two possibilities. Either she wasn't dead at the house and he killed her on site, so that her, she was unconscious while being transported and he did not see her having petechia, those red spots in her eyes, or he killed her, or whoever did it, on site, and then the petechia was developing. I personally believe he's talking complete and utter crap. Oh my God, I lost connection. Are we back? Can you hear me now, guys? I don't know how long I was gone. I'm so sorry. I was talking and talking and talking and talking. And yeah, I was gone. Was I gone for long? I'm so sorry. Mm. For a few minutes? Oh my God. What? 5 to 6 minutes? Oh my God. See, this is because I don't see freaking chat. Oh my God. 4 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna explain everything. Everything again. Hell. But yeah, glad you guys had fun and nobody sent me a message saying I was gone. Oh my God. Oh, wrong screen. 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. 30 minutes. Come on. Don't over exaggerate this. Oh man. Yeah. See, this is the storm, you know. Yeah. So did you guys there was nothing really important. I just pointed out that there was no petechia. I hope you heard that. And the fingernails I wanted to explain real quick. So if you defend yourself, or if a victim of strangulation or whatever defends themselves, or in any kind of crime, the fingernails are in many cases torn or broken, and Dr. Burson states that there is no evidence of tearing of the fingernails. So this is a significant statement to me, because that tells me that she was probably just too small to fight somebody off, or they held her, or she wasn't able to free herself from that situation, which is very, very, very sad. It's hard for me to talk about these things, especially if it comes to children. Yeah, but let's keep moving. All right. General internal examination. There was nothing what the student pointed out to me that there is of significance. So everything internal, except what I wanted to show you guys about her lungs and stuff. There was nothing of significance. So everything we read into this report is basically nothing of significance. And like he stated, if an expert reads that, he knows exactly what's going on, while a non-expert like we are, we read things into this. That's why I'm so grateful that I got the chance to talk to these guys and to have an overview and a better understanding of an autopsy report, which I must admit changed my view of the case a little. Okay, I wanted to show you this part I marked in pink, but for that I'm so sorry. I need to. What funny things did Dave say? Oh, I got a message too that the autopsy report of Shanann was boring. I mean, I get it, it's I mean, what can you make fun of? It's an autopsy report, for God's sakes, and this is just ridiculous. Some people are just ridiculous. All right. The right and left lungs weigh 160 and 140 grams, respectively, and show normal septation. The lung is mottled pink tan to purple, which is a normal color that age. There are no masses or gross areas of consolidation. The bronchial system is also unremarkable. There are no foreign bodies or masses, and the arteries are free of thromboli. So, compared to Shannon's autopsy report, Dr. Burson checked everything. As we remember, there are 3 causes of a collapsed lung, which is adhesive, compressive, and obstructive. Adhesive, and I explained that in great detail when I did Shannon's autopsy. Adhesive is basically when you were born with that condition. So you have a defect or some disease that can cause your lungs to collapse from time to time. This is, by the way, not a life-threatening condition when you're an adult, but it could be life-threatening for a child. So compressive, this is when pressure is put on your chest. And obstructive is when your lung collapses due to foreign objects, like something in your airways that blocks the airflow. So he did check all 3 types of collapsed lungs. He did check everything on her lung, and there was nothing there. There was basically no collapsed lung. He did check adhesive, which is, he would have seen if Bella was born with a condition like this. He checked compressive, and he checked obstructive by saying there are no foreign bodies or masses. So he checked all that, while in comparison to Shannon's, he also checked these 3 causes of a collapsed lung, and he comes to the conclusion that this is compressive. He does not state, my opinion is that this was a compressive cause of a collapsed lung, but like I said, if an expert would read that, they would see, oh yeah, okay, he checked the 3 causes. He can scratch out the first one, and he can scratch out the third one. So it's obviously compressive injury. All right. Then let's move on to the different screen. Am I still here? I hope so. Oh gosh. Okay, the liver was fine. The stomach was fine. I mean, okay, he does say that she had 75 milliliter of a viscous green-black fluid, which is suggestive of oil and particulate matter from the oil tank, which she was in. So, like I said in the start, nothing of, nothing. All right. How does he make his conclusion? Not seeing any external injuries that would indicate a strangulation. The hyoid bone and thyroid bone, they were both intact. And he also states the skull and brain were of nothing significant here, and there were no areas of hemorrhage. That means the brain and the skull were okay. And he checked, how can it be that she had, or, a theory on why her frenulum was torn. So he basically checks, is there any injury to her skull? Maybe she got a blow to her mouth or blow to her head or stuff like that. So in his conclusion afterwards, he states that she was smothered, even though there were no foreign objects or fibers in her lungs or airways. So the specimens retained at the time of autopsy include fluid, blood, blood of the veins, heart, and lungs. The toxicology is pooled blood as described above, and liver are submitted. So they did send in a sample of Bella's liver. Sections of heart, lung, liver, kidney, and brain are submitted. So they kept sections for possible later testing if they needed to. And the evidence is swabs of face, swabs of her neck, which the defense requested, swabs of face after washing and before washing, swabs of her hands, oral swabs, vaginal swabs, fingernail clippings, and a blood card, so DNA they took. Then he did a full body X-ray that was submitted. And as you can see here, heart, lung, liver, kidney, brain, without abnormality. So everything was fine with that child up until, she was murdered. Okay, so I'm going to show you what he found on X-ray. 46 minutes, half an hour just to dig a hole, maybe longer. The surface and soil of Survey 319 was pretty much sand. So I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think he could have done it in like 20 minutes. But that's just my opinion. Okay. Go back to that. What Tammy Lee states. Bella was X-rayed and there was concern she may have had a broken jaw. The X-rays were sent to the radiologist of Children's Hospital, who advised it appeared to be gas in the area of the jaw and not an actual fracture. It also appeared, some scrapes to her buttocks. All right, they thought she had a broken jaw, right? And as I told you, Dr. Burson stated, she had a torn lip, torn frenulum, a hole in her lip, in her upper lip, and gum, and bit her tongue. So what they did, basically, they took an X-ray and then they saw that she had some sort of maybe a broken jaw. That indicated that she might have had a blow to her head, right? So, which she then concluded that wasn't the case. How does gas or air get into your jaw? It's simple. It doesn't need to be a fracture of a bone or parts of a bone. It simply can also cause gas or air in your jaw if, for example, you wiggle your head around, or, for example, if you're being smothered, right? So from the pressure on your jaw, and you were trying, and we remember he stated that she was grunting and she was wiggling her head back and forth. And due to that movement, her jaw, I'm not sure, I'm thinking what could have happened was her jaw dislocated and through the movement relocated back into her jawbone, the lower part of her jaw. So this part, right? This could have occurred. So she did not have a broken jawbone, but she had this gas or air pocket in her jaw, which is consistent with somebody trying to get away, trying to, struggle in general, of being, killed, basically. I just have to say it as it is because it is what it is. So she fought. She really, really did fight. And it's very hard for me to talk about these things because I don't even want to imagine what Bella went through. I don't And whoever did this, and if he did this, I mean, come on. What a piece of crap. You know, how can you do this to a helpless, innocent child? I mean, come on. And this was force on her head. This was trauma, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so basically, yeah, bless her heart. That's so true. Basically, it changed my mind a little bit. I do understand the autopsy report way better than I did before. I know the difference between abrasions, excoriations, or what it's called, and bruising. It's three total different things. I can pull that up real quick again for the people who just joined. You know, it's just absolutely freaking horrific. It is horrific, but I do understand that better. And having those abrasions and injuries to her arm, between her arm and shoulder, and just measure, if you have a child, just measure where the arm ball meets the shoulder blade. Measure 5.12 inches. For a 4-year-old child, that's quite an injury and quite an abrasion. So when he states, you know, when he was asked, how did you put her in? Were her arms lifted? And he said, yeah, arms like this and, you know, lifted up in the air. It's absolutely possible. I mean, you know, given the fact that he said this and also what the autopsy report states, force to the left, abrasions on the torso. And like I said, I always thought, oh my God, you know, yellowish bruising and stuff. No, it's totally different. A bruise is different to an abrasion. And I had to learn that. Yeah, it's absolutely horrific what this little girl went through. It's unimaginable. I mean, you know, this is definitely proof that she really did struggle. And in the start, I always thought, oh, maybe she was unconscious and maybe she didn't, you know, or maybe her lip and all that were from being stuffed in the tanks. No, it wasn't. This girl suffered horrific injuries. And whoever did this, or, you know, I mean, it's possible that he did this. I haven't made my mind up yet, but I think he did this. He put them in those tanks. But like I said, it's an unpopular opinion. But yeah, did he have help? Absolutely, my opinion. But I also think he did put his girls in those tanks. After next week, I'm doing CC's autopsy, and then it becomes even clearer on what occurred. So, as I'm still friggin' using StreamYard, I give me the chance to just quickly read up on chat. So, I'm now entering chat, and I did not see if you guys had any questions or did say anything. So please put your questions or anything you wanted to say in chat so I can pull it up on screen. Yes, Mary, and I also have an explanation for this. But we're getting to this, you know, one step at a time. I'm still making up my mind about this, and I found some things I'm prepared to show you. So we're getting to this. If no fibers in Bella and Cece's mouth and lungs, no marks on her neck, could they have been suffocated with possibly one of the two trash bags found at the site? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when I was listening, because I was looking for that part where he states, oh, Bella had something above her eye, but going through a 4-hour interview, that was just not going to happen tonight. So what he did state also, and I never heard before, but I actually read the transcript on it because I wasn't sure if he did really say that or not. So what he gives an explanation why he wrapped trash bags around her head and feet. It was because the sheet kept falling off. So he basically fixed that by putting a trash bag on her head and feet to basically secure the sheet. Pretty disturbing. Found that by mistake, basically. Listening to this crap, I still do believe that he is lying through his teeth in his Wisconsin confession. But yeah, we're getting to this. I'm on this case for like more than 3 years, basically from day one when they went missing. And I tend to find myself in situations where I'm like, oh my God, this happened and this happened, and I know that now, and blah, blah, blah. And as I go along with the evidence and re-listen to things and talk to people who I never spoke before and, have opinions of experts, it all seems so just clear, you know? But we learn as we go along, don't we? And we learn together. Freaking delay again on that StreamYard. Ah, so glad when I'm rid of this. The plastic bags would have been blown to Frederick if they were disposed on Monday. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. But then on the other hand, why removing the sheet? Why removing the trash bags? Right? Why does he make the effort to remove all that? Why not putting her in the grave as is? Makes no sense to me. But if you would ask him, he probably says he can't remember. What if Shanann was taken to the side at gunpoint and, as someone else mentioned earlier, forced to watch all this play out and then killed her? I don't think so. I mean, forced at gunpoint in her underwear? Mm-mm. I mean, everything is a possibility. I just don't see that happening. Why do you think that Cece didn't try and fight for her life like Bella tried to? Because she was already dead? I think she was already unconscious. But we're getting into this when I do CCs next week. My question is, did they follow his GPS stops to look for black bags that were over her head and feet? What do you mean, Mimi? Follow his GPS stops to look for black bags? I think I don't understand what you mean. If the confession in Wisconsin true, then how did FRC CCTV footage of him carrying his deceased family out like trash? I do not believe that there was any other footage. When I did the Vivin stream, I said there's a possibility because Vivin is recording 24/7. It has live recordings, so it is a possibility that there is more footage, right? So I did not question the family saying, there was more footage. But then on the other hand, they believed that shadow story too. So I don't know. Oh my God, what a delay. I think she didn't fight for her life because she was too little to understand what was going on. She was a baby. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Stranger things happen. In this case, strange things apparently did happen. Yeah. Wouldn't dogs have found a scent on CW when they were near him? On CW? Yeah, of course. That's a good point too, but since it was dark, we just never know, especially if they were hiding out in the basement and a car was waiting out back. Yeah, I found actually something very interesting today. But yeah, everything at a time. um yeah, I just wanna, this what he says is all lies, right? Always keep that in mind. He's lying to everybody, which is playing games is actually a trait of psychopathic tendencies, I was told. Chris told law enforcement that he put trash bags overhead, but only after they asked him about the trash bags. Exactly. Remember, CW is a liar. Oh, absolutely is. He's lying through his teeth. And while going through the autopsy report, I mean, there are still people having doubts that he did this. Okay. I have not made up my mind yet. I have to see more evidence. But if he did this, he's a right piece of shit. Like, I mean, he's a piece of shit anyway, because he did, even if there was some plan or of some sort, right? He did nothing to stop this. Nothing. I just feel very sorry for his friends, possible friends. I feel so heartbroken for his family because all they want is answers and they're not getting anything from him except lies, right? So he's not innocent in this at all. At all. So maybe in the end we cycled back to the original story. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we just need more evidence. And I'm searching and searching and searching. It's a possibility. Oh, I did not see you. I'll pull you up in a minute. There's a video of the spirits of the kids shenanigans in her house in one bedroom near the front of the house. No, I did not see it because I don't believe in spirits and all that stuff. So I'm not watching this. I mean, it's interesting to watch, but no, I don't believe in stuff like that. Exactly. Not only his parents deserve it. Everyone deserves it. I mean, we don't, deserve anything. He doesn't owe us anything, but he owes his family an explanation and not playing games. Height of tank 2 feet, 2 feet of oil in tank. Medical experts are puzzled how Bella had major injuries if she was dropped from the top. I have not seen medical experts doubting that, because you got to keep in mind, if a child's bones are differ from the ones an adult has, right? So even if she falls 20 feet into sludge and stuff and oil. And I think it was 4 feet of oil and sludge in that tank. So you got to keep that in mind also and take it into consideration that the body of a child is different and the bones are way more soft than those of an adult. I believe in spirits. Spirits have experienced it many times, but I do not believe there's anything paranormal going on at the Watts house. I don't think so either. I mean, yeah, people can believe, if you put your beliefs in certain things, that's fine. And I'm sure there's something, supernatural in this world, but I just don't believe that this is actually your loved ones talking to you. I think it's demonic spirits and all that. All right. We're definitely gonna discuss Cece's autopsy next week, and I have big things coming. The oil tank. I'm gonna show you exactly why Chris Watts lied to his parents again. And yeah, it's about time to make some conclusions. What I also wanted to show you guys is what I promised you in my car live stream. The quick one where I had a little heart attack because people were saying, you're going live. Yeah. So the taxes paid on the house. First of all, I gotta mention, who gives a flying rat's ass if that house is sold? Who cares? And what's going on with the community is like weird, right? I mean, who cares if that house is sold? I feel glad and happy for the neighbors because they deserve peace. So, yeah, but I just wanted to show you just for completion because you wanted to know who paid the taxes. And sorry for saying these bad words like rat's ass and stuff, but I think it just has to be said. All right, as you can see here, this is the tax statement for Saratoga Trail. The owner is, the mortgage comes from the Chase Bank, JP Morgan. In 2019, there was no tax paid. There was some sort of tax reduction. And they did that because obviously, it was in a legal limbo in 2019 and all that. So in 2000, when was that date? I can't remember when that date was. 2019. So guess who paid the taxes? Payment received by the bank. So the family did not pay the taxes, neither did Chris Watts. Obviously, he was in prison. The bank paid the taxes in 2019. $3,049.71. So here, payments received by check from JP Morgan Chase Bank. All right. So to bring an end to this. Yeah, exactly. The mortgage was not paid, sugar beet, and neither were the taxes. So the bank basically Yeah. Yeah, Mary, there's always stuff that surprises me too. All right, I have a little special guest because I wanted to address some issues as well. If you're not interested in, then just turn off or watch a different video or go to Shanann's autopsy. But I think some things need to be addressed. Before my special guest comes on, I just wanted to say that I'm not getting involved in drama. I'm not getting involved in any family fights. I learned the hard way to stay away from certain people. And yeah, I just wanted to address that there are things going on that are not okay. And yeah, basically, I didn't get into it like that bad. No, I'm talking about the house and stuff. But what was going on is like absolutely, it just blows my mind, right? Why argue about a freaking house being sold or who got the first glimpse of information on YouTube? I mean, are you kidding me? Welcome, Dave.
Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Not. This is not my channel.
I'm gonna
Hi.
stay off. I'm gonna stay off camera for a second because I'm gonna have a cigarette.
Okay. Knock yourself out. Hi, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good. It's good to be here.
Good. Yeah.
It's been an
Long time no
interesting
see.
week.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to address this because it's an issue that goes on for a long, long time. You know, all the arguments, all the he said, she said, I debunk you, you debunk me. I mean, come on.
Yep. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. It was just what happened this week. For those of you out there that are unaware, Frank Bruise went on to CBS. Well, he actually went to the house in Denver, and he took a reporter inside the house and was interviewed by the reporter about all the conspiracy theorists that are out here on YouTube discussing the Chris Watts case. And my face, voice, and channel name were exposed to the world for many, many days. My channel name is still exposed, although they've edited the video. And my voice is no longer there, but it was out there and had been out there for nearly 4 days. And the amount of hate and harassment that I have received since that video was actually streamed, was actually put up by CBS 4 in Denver, is astronomical. When all I am doing is freedom of speech, casting an opinion, and reading through the discovery and looking at the videos that were released in the digital discovery and forming an opinion of those, which I am fully entitled to do. And I have been ridiculed by Shanann's family and adored by the Watts family. So what is, as Tanya said, we don't want to get between the families. It's got nothing to do with us between the actual families. But some things do need to be reported on that are actually happening behind the scenes, e.g., what happened at the cemetery. Things like that need to be actually addressed and told so people can see this is what's truly happening. But I am not going to get in the middle of a family feud at all.
Huh. Yeah. And this is what I said. I mean, don't get in the middle, of these things. I would hate to see, we went through so much well, me certainly with things that went on in my personal life. I don't care anymore. I really truly don't care. Talk about me, do things, I don't care. You're not, and I'm talking about hate and things like that. I mean, I haven't heard anything because I'm not doing anything to anyone. But I'm open. I state my opinion as it is. And I just don't understand why some people are going on and on and on and on about things that are in the friggin' past. Like,
Oh yes, yeah, without a
who
doubt.
cares if that house was sold? Who cares who got the information first? Who cares?
Yep,
Right? Who cares? So I just want to make that little statement. Me personally, I'm not getting into this bullshit anymore. Um, I'm a quiet person, but I will tell you to your face if I don't like you. And I will tell
she
you
will,
also to
everyone.
your
I can
face
assure you.
my opinion about you. So I'm normally, and people think of me, oh, she's quiet and blah blah and nice. I am nice in general, but I can also be a real asshole especially if you come after my family, right?
Absolutely.
And I thought the first thing when I heard about all this stuff was uh, it was so quiet and nice. Yeah, we were working on that case and, just doing our little live streams and preparing and stuff like that. I have a great community as well. We built a great community. And then this happened with CBS and all that stuff. I mean, why are people seeking out other people? Why is it so important what other people say? Why is it so important? It has no significance.
At all, because we cannot, all we can do is control what we do, what we say, and what we write. We cannot control what others do. But I
Right.
do have a request out there for the others. Just a simple question is why? When all I'm doing is talking about a very public true crime case, I do not deserve what's coming my way. Neither of us do. And no other channel pretty much deserves it either. All we're doing is
Exactly.
discussing a case.
Yeah. I mean, you're allowed asking questions and stuff, And I mean, I really feel for the Rusek family, and it broke my heart seeing Frank on that CBS interview. It really did, because he was visibly distraught. Yeah. But, on the other hand, who's bringing them the information? And I think that in some parts it's over exaggerating from people who want to see the drama, who want to see people fighting.
Well, to
you
take
know
us off course from doing what we're doing. And they won't deter me. This is the whole thing. I will continue to search for answers with this case. I will continue until that idiot that's in prison opens his damn mouth and actually speaks to us and actually tells us all some truths, because all he is doing is continuously lying to his family. And
oh, absolutely.
I am so sick of him, you know,
Yeah.
doing what he's doing. It's driving me mental in that regards, and it's driving his family nuts. They are just as angry as me,
Yeah.
you know, but he's in a it's like being in a holiday camp where he's actually at. I'm sorry, everyone is not in this
Yeah.
terrible prison. I can assure you, if he was in Colorado prison, he wouldn't be alive. So where he's at right now is a very, very safe place.
Yeah,
No, not at all,
absolutely.
PC.
No, you're not timed out. I just have not seen your comments. I have a delay on StreamYard, like I always have with that friggin' program. So I'm gonna get rid of it.
I'll talk to you
Anyway,
quietly about this afterwards.
yeah. I just thought I can start my cam. I just thought
Right.
I needed to address this. Um, yeah, it's absolutely friggin' ridiculous. And I mean, if you have to beg for support, I mean, by saying over and over, thank you for supporting me and not this person, and come to my channel, don't go to other channels. Just don't do it. It's getting old. It's getting
Yeah.
so old.
I don't care where
I'm
people
here.
go and get their information at all. I
Yeah,
seriously don't. And most people that are subscribed to us subscribe to everyone else on the Watts Island. You know what I mean? So I don't have
I'm
any
not in
issues.
contact with anyone really, and but there's a reason that I'm basically a loner all my life, because I avoid people in general. I mean, I have work-wise, I have to do with loads of different people, but in general, I just want to be left alone and left in peace. You can come to me and tell me everything. You can come to me and have criticism or whatever. If it's presented in a not ignorant way, I will also reply to you. But in general, then people go after families, want information about a person. I mean, hello, what the heck is going on? Like, this is so ridiculous. And I gotta tell you, really, in all honesty, I thought about just shutting down my YouTube channel. I had thoughts about this, because it's absolutely ridiculous and it's distracting from what I love to do. Right? But then on the other hand, I thought, nah, I built such a great community and people who come into my streams, and I only go live once a week. But still so many people are here and like listening to me, and I get so many nice messages, encouraging me not to stop doing what I'm doing. But it's so distracting. We're here to find out the truth, because in my personal opinion, I think he's a friggin' liar. He's a liar, and he was a liar probably all his life. Yeah, I think he has severe mental issues. I don't know if I lean too much out of the window if I would say he has a split personality. I also heard today while re-listening to the interview, that he sometimes talks about himself in the third person. So it's not normal. Something's going on with that dude. And I just want answers so we could put this to rest, once and for all. And if I don't get any answers from him, then I'm gonna do my own digging. This is what we're doing, aren't we?
That's exactly what we're
So,
doing.
yeah. So, and while you dig, people don't understand when you investigate, like, we're no investigators or any experts, but if you do that, of course you have questions, because you are no expert, right? If we were experts in all fields regarding this case, we wouldn't have any questions. It's like I said in the start, when I did this autopsy like a year ago, I did not have the knowledge I have now. So
Absolutely.
we learn as we go, and we meet people, we meet experts, we meet, a year ago, I had no clue about phones or Apple or data or whatever. I'm just trying to educate myself and ask people who I believe are the experts, like Jeff or Dawn even. Dawn is absolutely done with that case. He's gonna upload a video on his channel soon based on the evidence, and he's giving his conclusion. Yeah, it's just too much.
Now, like Tanya, you just made that point a year ago. There was so much you didn't know. That's
Yeah.
why I put a video up the other day, okay, of a portion of my whatever you call it, my marathon that I did, and it was myself with and it was where I've come to now from where I was a year ago is so much further, and we'd learn.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
absolutely learn.
Yeah.
The more
Like I
the more we
say.
go, and we get to talk to different people.
Yeah.
In that time, I've obviously got built a very good relationship with Chris's family. In that time,
Mm-hmm.
I've got to learn things about Chris himself. I've also got to learn about people in this case who I thought, you know, um, were just Chris's friends. But,
Mm-hmm.
as the
Yeah.
more you dig, the more you dig, the more you dig, you just don't know.
Yeah. And there, Don said to me, I said to him, I don't understand why this all occurred, why the children. And he said something to me that really stood out. He said to me, because we're normal people. We're normal people and we don't understand the mindset or something along those lines, the mindset of this of that guy, and being part of interrogations as Don was or is, he has quite some experience with talking to the real assholes, like, murderers and fraudsters and whatever. And he saw right through him from the start, didn't he, Dave?
Yes, he saw well and truly right through him, and
You know,
and
and he always told me in particular, because I'm kind of like the explosive person. When I
you certainly
find
are.
something, I have to put it out there, and then I get told you're wrong, and I'm like, ah, I want this to be true. you
I
know
know, and I'm the same with you.
yeah.
You'll come to me with something, and I'll say no because of the time here, or this or that, and I'll say you're wrong, and then
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing, and you'll say no, Dave, because of this, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And we still do it today. I said something in my live stream just the other night. Um, I I'll actually correct it here right now. I said we have three eyewitnesses. We have three eyewitnesses that have actually come to us, right? That places NK's vehicle in Saratoga Trail. I actually said NK. I'm sorry, but it was NK's vehicle in Saratoga Trail that morning. So that's all I want
Yeah.
to. I just wanted to correct. I actually said that I got the wrong wording out, but that's what we actually have. So these
Yeah.
are things that Tanya came to me afterwards and said, "No, it wasn't NK. It was the vehicle. If you know what I mean, it was her vehicle that was seen." So we will correct each other whenever we can to make sure we're giving you 100% correct information.
Yeah. This is the most important, and this is the reason I even, I created this YouTube channel. um Way back. I can't even remember when it was, but I never uploaded anything. And I was about to. And then, there's a barrier to me having, I mean, I don't have problems talking to people, but, when you make your first video, you're all nervous. And, I never overcame that barrier to do a YouTube video. Otherwise, I would have done it way earlier. But seeing, um, the biggest thing for me, where I said, all right, I have to do this, was when I saw the sheets. And some creators were giving their viewers the feeling that the sheet they brought into the evidence room was actually their bed sheet, the fitted sheet,
Yeah.
right? And this was for me the point where I said, all right, I got to do this, because there's so much misinformation out there, right? Another example, the house sale. How long have we been sitting on that information?
A
5
very
months,
long, at least,
right?
at least
So,
you and I were made privy to something, okay, in February, okay, however long ago that was, everyone. Early February.
What? I
We
did
were
not
made privy.
understand what you were saying. What did you say? Can you repeat?
We were given information in early February in regards to the house. What was actually happening, documents Chris was actually given to sign, and
Yeah.
we knew all about this, and we didn't say a word to anyone about this. There was no need to.
Yeah.
Then there was a YouTube channel that came out and said the house had been switched names into Frank's and Shanann's name. Okay. And then people came to us and said, oh, the house is sold, because yada, yada, yada. Okay. And all I did in my live stream was said, if the house is sold,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I didn't jump the gun. I just kept saying, if it's sold, if they did this, if they did that. So it's a
Yeah.
bit the
It's
same way
just
I ask questions. If such and such did something, they
yeah.
should pay a certain price or a certain
Yeah. What I'm
penalty.
trying.
If
Sorry. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that and I'm speaking of me only now. I think Dave's the same, but I only put stuff out there where I have 100%, where I can back it up 100%, because I don't like backtracking from what I said or being too quick to say something and cause that misinformation I hate so much in the first place. Right? I don't want this to happen. Of course, I'm only human, and I'm not perfect, and I'm no saint, and I make mistakes, and like every other person too. But this is just the perfection thing I have, and sometimes I really overreact. But yeah, it has to be perfect, and I just want to give you guys, my supporters and members and subscribers, just accurate information. That's all, and that and only that is the reason that I'm not blasting out what I learned or information I get, like right away. Just go in live in 5 minutes and blast it out. I'm not doing this. I'm not in it for, this is a hobby for me. I like to see justice, because I'm under the impression that he did not do this alone. He had help, in some way. But I certainly, well, I'm not going there right now, but on NK. But yeah, this is just my opinion, and this is what I believe. But maybe if I learn more, I think, in 2 weeks time, I say, all right, he did everything and nobody has anything to do with anything. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We
and you
learn
did it
as we
all
go
alone.
along.
Who knows?
Yeah.
If we come across some
That's why I'm
information.
hesitating. Yeah, that's why I'm hesitating when people say, what's your theory or what's your opinion? I really hesitate, because my opinion or my thought or my theory can be something completely different today than it is in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That's
And
why I'm saying I need more evidence. I need to dig more in.
the thing we need to really
No flip
understand
flop.
is when our theories evolve, which is what I call it. They evolve. Tanya has
Yeah.
her theories privately. I have my theory privately. Mine's evolved over the course that I've been on YouTube, but I question everything. I don't
Yeah.
place 10 people acting as part of this crime. I ask questions on their behaviors and their lies, why they actually lied.
And people.
Yeah, and what are they doing? Like these witnesses in this case.
Oh,
What are
yeah.
they doing? They're all trying to throw Chris completely under the bus. The question that I have is, he didn't have the time between texting and phone calls and looking up the internet and doing all this, I believe, to have acted completely alone in disposing of his family. That's in that timeline that morning. And that's where I really struggle. And then when you go into the data of the timeline that morning, things don't add up. They just don't add up. And this is where we need to question and look as deeply as we possibly can into creating a scenario, and it's very hard to create that scenario when there is information missing. There are timelines missing out of the data that we haven't been given through the geotab. There are things that we're missing. For as long as we're missing that, we can't come to a full-on final conclusion. Did it actually all happen on Monday morning?
Yeah. The same with the phones at Survey, right? We know that the significant location application in an Apple phone is based on satellite. So people say, no, the towers and whatnot, he has no connection out there. But if you go back in his geotab or in his phone, what he did in June, July, his connection was totally fine.
July 2nd and 3rd are the two dates involved.
No
Both
problem
phones
at all at
at
Survey.
same locations at the exact same time.
Exactly. He was even able to send pictures of a thunderstorm in the Roggen area and
Correct.
stuff like that.
It was out looking at a twister that had formed.
Right. So you got to take all of this into consideration before you make a final conclusion. Yeah.
Thanks, gift of time. That's really nice of you to write that.
What?
Nice to see you together again.
Ah.
We have been together the whole time. We just haven't been up here together so much.
Yeah.
But we've been together the whole time through everything, okay? So I just want to make sure everyone knows that. Tanya never left me. I never left Tanya. We're always together.
I just gotta say, I should have reacted differently. And ever since what we went through, bye, Kay.
Thank you, Kay, for all of your medical information.
Yeah, thank you. And I have, a different approach to things ever since that happened. Yeah, I should have laughed it off, really. But like I said, it was not of my concern in the start at all. I was just like, yeah, you talk. Who cares? This person is not of interest at all to me. But then when it came to my children and getting emails of wishing my daughter would be raped and all that stuff, then it wasn't so funny anymore, and I couldn't laugh it off.
No.
But yeah, I have, if something like this ever happens again, I'm gonna have a different approach to this. And yeah, this is all I gotta say to this.
All TJ and I are trying to do, everybody, is unravel it all.
I just want to
solve. The case is what we care about.
And I'm not interested in drama and interested in emails saying, have you heard this about that person and this about that person? Or I'm not interested in this stuff. I have no time. It gives me great anxiety as well. Even talking about this is like, what do you expect me to say? I mean, you write a message or an email saying, have you heard this and that person and what a shitty person? What do you expect me to say? I don't even know these people.
Yes.
Or 90% of them, I always have to gather information. What's going on? Who is this person? I have an email. Who is this person? But they assume that you know them because you're doing YouTube too.
Yep. Absolutely. So
yeah, I'm learning more to him doing it every day. I just don't think he'll leave her phone behind to shine the spotlight on him immediately. It was game over even then. Doesn't match his playdate story. Yeah, absolutely. And speaking about the phones, somebody said, yeah, he turned Wi-Fi off or something. No, he could have. But the thing is, it all ties in together, right? If you look at the router, and this is what I'm saying all the time, you cannot just look at one aspect of that case. You can't. You know, if you say significant locations, for example, right? His phone wasn't at Servi, let's say. Yeah? Or he wasn't at Servi or whatever. Let's just say the data or the significant location tells us he wasn't there or he was separated from his phone, so to speak, right? Then you go back, you have to take into consideration as well is the router logs. We know that only his work phone connected back and forth. So there's a connection there when his phone doesn't show up immediately at 6:50.
When they're separated.
Right?
Again, being
so
separate.
Instead of focusing on one thing, you have to put the whole thing together, and then it makes sense.
1:32 a.m. or whatever it was the last time his personal phone connected with his home router until he got home.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So all the time that he was actually going in and out of the house at 5:30, okay, when his work phone was connecting and disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, his personal phone wasn't even connected to his home router since 1:30 in the morning at all. So there's a timeline there to say they were separated at that time. And then you go out to Servi and you go back to the significant locations in early July, and they were together out at Servi. But when we went out there that morning, they were separated for 2 hours.
Yeah, because Geotab operates the same way as Apple significant locations. But
also a different, when we talk about whether a different weight was added or not added, what to the actual vehicle, what actually happens is there's a rough weight that Chris would travel around in every day. But if there was a significant change to that weight, 220 pounds being added, it would have sent an alert to his office that would have stated something is amiss with the added weight in the vehicle. And obviously that's 3 human deceased bodies that would have been in that.
Not an alert as in an alert, like alarm bells going off, but they have a sheet they get even every week printed out if they want to on their Geotab movements. And if there is something wrong, like they get a little red or blue or yellow or whatever triangle, depending on how you put it into the system. And this does not show us, significant amount of weight or whatever. You got to keep in mind, Geotab is a behavioral system. So yeah, it's pretty complicated, but yeah. I'll never forget what Chris said to law enforcement in Wisconsin. And Kay told me to delete all my texts, but I didn't. So it would help you guys out. We know for a fact she deleted hers, so I am prone to believe CW. Absolutely. And what also is weird, when he said, when they were on the phone, I believe that was Tuesday, early morning, when he played phone tag.
2:07 a.m.
What?
At 2:07 a.m.
Mm-hmm. And she asks him all sorts of weird questions. Look, if I have nothing to hide, why would I ask my partner or boyfriend, what's the name of my dog? What gym do I go to? Why was she even scared that law enforcement is listening in? Why was she so concerned about law enforcement listening in if I have nothing to hide?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
sorry.
and then his friggin' excuse that's so lame when he says, "Oh, maybe she thought it was Shanann." Come on. She can make a difference between your voice and Shanann's voice. So what are you talking about? This is absolutely ridiculous statement. She was concerned that law enforcement was listening into their calls. What did she was she ashamed that they listen into to their friggin' phone sex conversations, or was she concerned that he might slip?
Definitely might slip, and we actually know as a fact that she was on the phone on Monday evening whilst Jeremy and David were in the house
Mm-hmm.
with Chris. And he actually wasn't he wasn't actually conversing with her. He had been conversing for a short time, right? But we know she was on the phone to him for 50 minutes in that first phone call and 52 minutes in the second phone call, and which was a little bit later after they'd left. But in that time, she was on the phone. More than likely, his phone was in his pocket and they were listening in. She was listening into everything to make sure she knew everything that he was saying to
Yeah.
anyone, right? And then a few hours later, she does it again at 2 o'clock in the morning when she's listening in on his personal phone whilst he's actually on the phone to Officer Goodman on his work phone, because that's when all the phone tag was happening.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And I interrupted his plan. I'm on the edge with this one. Yeah, I don't get it with that woman. I really don't.
There's no way, in my honest, in my opinion, there's no way she could have actually known those car seats were still in the vehicle
Yeah.
if
I mean,
she hadn't been in that house or her son hadn't been in that house. That's the whole big question, because she couldn't see down through tinted glass on the door and then down
mm,
through the tinted window of the vehicle to actually see
yeah.
those car seats.
I mean, the car seats, I think there's maybe a simple explanation. Maybe she just wanted to get police there like right away. You know,
Yeah, she could have
maybe
just
she
told a
thought
kid.
if I tell them about the car seats, and they're little, they need the seats if if she went somewhere. Maybe they'd get here quicker, if children are involved and possibly missing and they don't have their car seats, so they didn't leave. Maybe that was her thought. But when I read her message to Shanann saying, "Oh, your shoes are there, or your flip-flops, and your alarm is set," that was weird.
It didn't go off when
Yeah.
they all walked in the house.
So also, exactly what Nick, I believe it was, or it was NA, I can't remember, in their interviews, they say a similar thing. They also say the alarm was set, right? And he leaned on the garage door, or he tried to put the number in or something, and the alarm went off. So how the hell did they disable the alarm without going in there on the panel?
Correct.
Yeah. And another thing is, she had the code for the door. And if the alarm was set, does it trigger an alarm when that latch is down?
See, this is the thing. We don't know. We honestly don't know. She could have easily, that latch may well have not even been locked, okay? And she could have easily walked in the front door. Easily, if that latch wasn't closed over. She closes over the latch and then walks out the garage door because there was a Vivian alert at approximately the same time on the garage door. So let's say she walks in, looks around, walks out through the garage, sees the car seats in there, and then walks out. But put the latch back on the door. You know, why was Chris looking at her so glaringly angry? Like, he was furious with NA. Those stares those two had were like horrendous. Was he like,
Yeah.
what the hell were you doing coming in the house? That's the look. That's the look he was giving her.
I mean, yeah, because he was angry because she was there, right?
Yep.
And he didn't expect her to be there because he had no clue that Shanann actually had a doctor's appointment in the morning. So he did not expect NA to be there. It's as simple as that. But what they saying about the alarms, I mean, I don't want to incriminate somebody. Oh my God, hell no. But I'm just having a question. How do you disable the alarm if you're not on the panel? So was she added to that admin role where you could disable and enable alarms or whatever on your phone?
We
Was she
don't know.
maybe
See, we don't know
added?
her actual role, whether she was just a
No,
really good friend
but
or if she was.
but she was watching the girls, and she was in the past, and she also was watching Dieter.
Correct.
So it's not far-fetched that she was added to that admin role in Vivint. Right? But, these are questions I have. Like, I just cannot make sense out of it.
All right. Look, I've got to go. I've got to make a quick phone call.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll get back to you after I've made this call, TJ.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on here. Thank you. I
No
really
problem.
appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone's support. Yeah, me and TJ are working closely behind the scenes together. We just won't be on each other's panels as much unless we actually are needed by one another. So that's all there is to it. But we are definitely.
We're getting there.
We are.
We're getting
Thank
there.
you, everyone.
All
Thanks,
right.
Tanya.
Thanks for appearing. See you
No,
later.
you're very welcome. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Yeah, that was just something I needed to address. And something else, I don't care how much money family makes or how much they profit from a house sale or stuff like that. It's, I'm just not interested in this stuff. I don't care. I really, truly don't care. All I want to do is this case, make up my conclusion and, find stuff out. And this is all I want to do. I hope I did not hurt anyone by saying certain things. I do have questions. That wasn't my intention. But during, learning about the case and investigating, it's normal that you have questions. So I hope nobody feels offended and, or hurt by what I've said or I'm going to say. But these things are just nothing I'm interested in. I don't care how much money anyone makes or not. I don't care. Okay, oops, I can show my face. Yeah, I just feel like this needed to be said. You guys, there's some good things coming, especially in the summer, like August, September-ish. I'm in the talks with some very special person who is willing to come on my panel, but nothing concerning the Watts case. It's a different case. It's the case of Charles Manson. I want to get into. I know this case inside out, and I want to share some things with you guys if you're interested in it. To me, this is the most interesting case ever. Yeah, and I just want to share what I know and have some interesting people on my panel in the future. Yeah, but I got to do a little bit more research, as you know me. All right, you guys. Yeah, if there are no further questions, I feel like I have said what I wanted to say. You know, I don't like these arguments. I don't like the drama. I mean, it's just pointless, and yeah, I'm not interested in that stuff. I know that people like to watch it. Me too. I mean, if there's drama going on, like in a soap opera, of course I watch it, you know? Curiosity. Totally. But yeah, if it comes to hurting people and you know, making stuff up, this is not funny anymore. All right, you guys. I love you. Take care of yourself. And I'll be on next weekend. Gonna celebrate my daughter's birthday. Next time with Bella's autopsy, and then I'm on Sunday next week, I'm doing the survey. So Saturday will be Bella's autopsy, and Sunday the survey. I found out pretty interesting stuff. And this is nothing where I can make up an opinion of my own or of myself, because this is just facts that documents states. It has to do with the quality of the oil and the appearance of the oil. And then I show you that he lied again to his parents. But yeah, with that being said, have a great weekend. I gotta go to sleep. You guys do what you gotta do. Stay out of trouble and always question things. You know, don't take things for granted. What somebody tells you, always question things. And yeah, think outside the box. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And we're gonna have way more stuff to talk about in the future. And I hope you guys follow me along. Thanks so much for your continuous support. And also thank you so much to all my moderators and members who really do support me. Like every one of you supports me, but my moderators are just friggin' fabulous and brilliant. And always there, like, you know, send a message and they immediately are there for you. And I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, have a great day, great night, great evening, great afternoon, great morning, good weekend, and I love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.